picking the one thing that is achievable, not that's the hardest, that's the most achievable, and not the thing that would make the biggest difference, the thing that is most achievable, because you want to build this momentum of success. Look, we talked about, I don't know, we're doing geography homework, and we talked about flipping over the map before you give the answer for whatever the thing is. And then you were able to remember two more than before. How amazing. And that's it. And then just walk away. So suggesting one thing to change, making it easy and making it achievable, and ideally making it something that picking something that your child can imagine achieving is super important. We have this thing in our brain where the things we can imagine are the things that we think are more likely. That's usually not true, like factually, but that's kind of how our brain works, right? We're all very worried about these like dramatic ways of meeting our demise in an untimely way, but usually they don't happen. Not a lot of people get eaten by sharks or hit by lightning or what. Like usually disasters are much more prosaic. But because these things are so easy to imagine, people are very worried about these things and not worried enough about the important stuff. But on the flip side, the good things that we can imagine are things that seem much more likely to happen, which also means we'll be willing to put much more energy toward them because they're likely to happen if we pursue them, or so our mind leads us to believe. And so if we can say, if you do the thing, can you see how easy it would be to just, take a breath before throwing the ball, right? And then can you imagine like take the breath and becoming super focused and doing the, like kind of take them through a little bit of a visualization exercise. So we give them one thing to do that they can easily imagine succeeding in. I forgot to put that bullet in, sorry. And reinforce their sense of being able to improve. That's really the last point I have here, but it's a big one, right? When your kid might think, this seems hard. I don't know if I can improve. I'm always going to be the last. I'm never going to blah, blah, blah. And to say, well, do you remember a month ago when you didn't even think you'd be able to remember one capital of one country? Or do you remember, you know, 2 weeks ago when you just started working on dribbling and you were like, this is never going to happen. And now you can just kind of do it all around your body and help them remember. Because kids, I feel like every session I come back to this little saying that Charlene taught me about how, it's helpful to connect the dots for people. And some people just need the dots a little closer together. I love that saying.